The fabled North Shore is a region, and within this region there are about 16 neighborhoods, and within these 16 neighborhoods there are dozens of micro-neighborhoods, or communities. Today we'll dive into 8 key neighborhoods, including Haleiwa, Sunset Beach, Pupukea, Waialua, Laie, Kahuku, Kawailoa, and Waimea. My name is Chris Shomo, real estate agent and founder of Home Sweet Home Hawaii Real Estate, brokered by eXp Realty. If this is the first time on our channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Hawaii, go ahead and subscribe below and also tap the bell for notifications so you can be first to learn about the current market here in Hawaii. Aloha! If you're looking to buy a home on Oahu's fabled North Shore, this video is for you. The North Shore is known for its laid-back lifestyle, breathtaking scenery, and tight-knit communities. But each neighborhood has its own unique character, benefits, as well as challenges. Today, we're going to break down some of the top neighborhoods of the North Shore region. We're going to talk about the pros, we're going to talk about the cons, and things you really need to consider if you're thinking of calling one of these neighborhoods home for you. Now, one point I should really make right up front is there are 0 large box stores in the North Shore. And what I mean by the big box stores, like the Costco's, Targets, and Walmarts. So no matter where you live on the North Shore, you'll have to drive to get to these places. If you live on the west side of the North Shore, like Haleiwa, Waimea, or Waialua, for example, you'll be heading down into central Oahu, Kapolei, or in Honolulu for the big stores. Now, if you're on the windward coast, like Laie, you'll be heading into Kaneohe, Kailua, or into town for these spots. Okay, now let's jump right into these 8 neighborhoods. The first one we're covering is Haleiwa Town. Haleiwa Town is often called the heart of the North Shore. It's a census-designated place in the Waialua district, and it's known for its surf culture, its local art scene, and historic charm. What's cool is it's also the gateway to the rest of the North Shore's famous beaches. It has a population of about 5,000 people, but the infrastructure of the town has to support way more than that because of all the tourists. Now let's get with the pros. It's charming. It's charming with quaint coffee shops and eateries and local galleries. And there definitely is a surf culture. If you love surfing, you'll be close to some of the world's best waves at nearby beaches like Waimea Bay and Pipeline, of course. And one of the pros is its convenience. Unlike more remote areas, Haleiwa has more amenities, including grocery stores, cafes, schools, making it a really convenient spot for families. Now the cons, some of the cons, of course, is the tourism, right? It's an understatement to say Haleiwa can be crowded during peak tourist seasons. There can be a ton of people traffic. It's well known, so think traffic, parking, and long lines wherever you go. And the cons also include the housing prices, unfortunately. So with its popularity comes higher real estate prices. According to the recent data that we pulled, the median home prices in Haleiwa hover around $1.5 million, which is high by comparison to much of Oahu and certainly by comparison to most of the mainland. And another con, of course, is the flood risks. So as with many beachfront areas, parts of Haleiwa are prone to flooding, especially during heavy rains or king tides. And insurance can be pricey, actually just like most places on the island because of this. Now let me give you a workaround. So one solution to this is if you're buying a house, to look into having the seller's existing flood insurance plan transferred into your name. Now let's talk price points. As far as price ranges for homes specifically in the Haleiwa neighborhood, and I'm not talking about the entire zip code 96712 that covers all of Haleiwa, but only the neighborhood that's specifically for Haleiwa. Homes range in the price anywhere between as low as $830,000 upwards of over $3 million. So that's on average about $1.55 million. Now for more on Haleiwa, I really encourage you to check out our videos that are dedicated specifically to Haleiwa, called the pros and cons, a vlog tour, and also a map tour. And we'll give you links below in the description. The next neighborhood we're going to talk about is really 2 neighborhoods next to each other, so we're clumping them together, and those are Sunset Beach and Velzeland. Sunset Beach, along with Velzeland, is iconic for its massive winter waves and being really the surfing mecca of the US. Heck, the entire world. Now, these are prime areas for those looking to experience true North Shore living away from the hustle and bustle of it all. Now within these areas, you also have the neighborhoods of Sunset Beach Colony and Rocky Point, for example. So the pros of this area include, of course, world-class surfing. Now Sunset Beach is home to some of the world's most famous surf competitions, making it a dream spot for those who love the waves. Another pro is its quiet lifestyle. Now, although it's a world-famous surf location, the area does have a slower pace compared to most touristy spots like Waikiki. And another pro here, of course, is the beachfront living. The homes in this area are just steps away from some of the most beautiful stretches of beach on the island. Now let's get into the cons. One of the biggest cons, unfortunately, is the distance to groceries and restaurants and kind of everything. While it's a peaceful spot, living here means you're going to have to drive into Haleiwa for groceries or a bite to eat. Schools and healthcare facilities are also kind of far away. And one of the biggest cons, unfortunately, is the traffic. And during the winter surf season, traffic can get really heavy as tourists flock to watch the waves and the competitions, of course. But even on the weekends and the holidays, there's still tons of traffic because there's only one road through these neighborhoods. Another con you've got to look out for if you're a homeowner here is the beach erosion. Homeowners in Sunset Beach have been dealing with significant beach erosion over the past few years. And protecting oceanfront property can be really costly, and some homes are at risk of serious damage. Now, you might find this crazy, but some oceanfront homeowners will allocate as much as 10% of their property value towards maintenance and repairs annually. For more on the headaches of owning beachfront homes, check out our video on this topic, and you're going to find a link below as well. Now, as far as price ranges in Sunset area and Velzyland, the homes in this area range typically, as low as $560,000 for like a teardown, upwards of $14 million, right? With an average sales price of about $2.5 million. Of course, those multi-million-dollar homes are right on the ocean. The next neighborhood in the top neighborhoods of North Shore is Pupukea. Pupukea sits just above Sunset Beach, and it's a residential area with a more rural feel. Homes here often have larger lots and offer spectacular ocean views because it's an elevated area. Also in this area, you have Pupukea Highlands, you have Sunset Hills, Pupukea Beach Park, and the famous snorkel spot Sharks Cove at the bottom, which is not just a tourist spot, but where all the locals go to for great snorkeling. One of the great pros of Pupukea is the space. So unlike some of the more crowded beachfront areas, Pupukea homes, they tend to sit on much larger lots, and they're often like an acre or more. So it can be great for privacy, great for families, and gives space for gardening for the folks or whatever you're into. Another great pros of Pupukea are the breathtaking views. So because it sits above the coastline, most homes offer panoramic views of the Pacific, and this definitely makes Pupukea one of the most picturesque spots on the North Shore. Some of the cons that you're going to deal with in Pupukea, if you think it's a con, is it's rural. So Pupukea does have a foodland and one of the only 3 grocery stores on the North Shore. So that helps a lot. But for most things outside of groceries, you're going to be driving either to Haleiwa or down into the towns. Restaurants, doctor appointments, and most services. So this rural feel is great for some, but it does mean fewer conveniences. I guess one of the other cons could be considered is the infrastructure, meaning Pupukea doesn't quite have the same level of infrastructure as more developed areas. What I mean by that is some roads are narrow and steep and can kind of be tricky driving during heavy rain. As for pricing, real estate in Pupukea can be expensive, with larger homes and lots, going well over $2 million. And maintenance of these bigger properties, they can also add to the cost as well. Homes here range typically from starting point about $1.4 million to about $6 million, with the average price home about $2.3 million. Although there is one home that's currently listed for $37,800,000, and it was originally listed for $17,800,000, so that's an increase of $20 million. I don't know what's up with that, but it's been on the market for over 4 years. So I don't know, maybe it's slightly overpriced. What do you guys think? Leave a message below. There must be an explanation to a $20 million price increase, but anyway, moving on. The next neighborhood on this list is a cool little beach town called Waialua. Waialua is a quieter, more local feeling town just west of Haleiwa. It offers a peaceful residential community that's slightly off the beaten path, but still on the North Shore. It includes the micro neighborhoods of Mokuleia and Pa'ala'akai, and also includes Waialua Plantation. Say that 10 times fast. The pros of this area are affordability. I mean, at least compared to Haleiwa and Pupukea, Waialua is a little less pricey, more on price point though in a minute. One of the pros for a lot of people, it's very laid back and slower paced. Waialua has a more agricultural, relaxed feel with definitely less tourism and more long-term residents. Tourists can sometimes pass through Waialua on their way to Haleiwa, but that's really the only impact Waialua experiences from tourism. Another pro of Waialua is it's close to Haleiwa, so it's right next to Haleiwa, so you get the benefits of the shops and cafes of Haleiwa without being in the middle of all that tourist traffic. Plan your trips around the times of heavy traffic. So there are 3 times to keep in mind to avoid traffic, and those are number 1, daily in the summertime from mid-morning to late afternoon. Number 2, all the holidays. And number 3, every weekend, regardless of the season during the day. Sounds like a lot, huh? So just expect crazy traffic in Haleiwa. It gets down to a crawl, and that's without any accidents. And it's definitely not just the tourists. I mean, a lot of residents will head to the North Shore to enjoy the big waves, whether you're a surfer or just want to sightsee and check out the huge waves in the wintertime and see the surfing competitions. Now, even though I've mentioned traffic while we're describing Haleiwa town, this is actually true for much of the North Shore, including some of the other neighborhoods we're talking about today. So just keep that in mind. Unfortunately, North Shore deals with a lot of traffic. So one of the cool things about Waialua is, and not a lot of people know about it, it's got its own secluded beach, a Veo beach. It's a beautiful soft sand beach that's hardly ever crowded. When I was house shopping with a client, we walked up to this beautiful part of the pristine beach right there, and the first thing he saw was this giant green sea turtle just taking a nap on the beach, basking in the sun, and that's all it took for him. He was just mesmerized by that. He's like, yeah, this is a beach that I could really appreciate. He bought the house. Within 1 day, we were in escrow. Other families really enjoy the ocean waves, and it's really a safe swimming spot compared to other areas, and it's got amazing sunsets. Families really enjoy this beach here, and it's a really safe area to swim, and it really offers amazing sunsets. Here's a side note here that the beaches here in Hawaii are public, but since Waialua isn't an overpopulated area, its beaches like Veo and the neighboring Mokuleia Beach and Polo Beach, they seem private because there aren't a whole lot of people on them. Now, the cons of Waialua are conveniences, and there are a few. Waialua is more residential and agricultural, so you're going to need a drive into Haleiwa or even further for shopping and restaurants. Another con is there are older homes. So many homes in Waialua are older and renovations are usually needed. And with the challenges that can come with Hawaii's building codes and extensive permit requirements and the time it takes to get permits, sometimes 3/4 to a year to a year and a half in some cases, this is definitely more to consider. Another con is agricultural land. Now, what I mean is for the homeowner, some properties in Waialua are designated agricultural, AG. So there are definitely building restrictions when it comes to residential homes. So definitely know the zoning of the property when you're looking to buy. That's absolutely critical. As far as price points in Waialua, homes in this area range anywhere from $2.65 to $4.5 million. But if you include condos, the average sales price is, around $950,000. There are actually quite a few areas in Waialua that have condominiums, so you can actually buy into the market there in the $300,000 to $500,000 starting point. But the micro neighborhood over is definitely expect to pay more than that, even with condos. Now, Mokuleia, the micro neighborhood right next door, the price ranges are from $600,000 to as high as $4.7 million, with an average sales price of $2.1 million. And the homes in Pa'ala'akai, which is another micro neighborhood of Waialua, those homes range from $690,000 to $1.2 million. The next neighborhood we're going to be talking about at number 5 on the list is Laie. So until now, the neighborhoods we've been talking about are west of the northern tip of Oahu, but Laie is on the windward side. Laie is this family-oriented, tight-knit community that's home to Brigham Young University, Hawaii, and the Polynesian Cultural Center. Laie also includes Malai Kahana, Hukilau Beach, and Laie Point. So pros of Laie include it's family-friendly. So Laie is known for its safe, family-oriented atmosphere. It's also a cultural hub. If you love learning about the Polynesian culture, Living in Laie means you're right next to the Polynesian Cultural Center, which is a major tourist attraction. Another pro is housing is less pricey. Housing prices in Laie are more affordable compared to some of the pricier North Shore areas, and we'll have more on that in a second. Now we'll get into the cons of living in Laie, and con number one is it's remote. Laie is about an hour's drive from Honolulu. It's something you get used to, but you have to plan for it. So plan your shopping trips and plan your times to buy supplies. Plan for Amazon deliveries to take longer to arrive. Plan to be the one who has to drive to see those friends who live in Kaneohe or Kailoa or in town. Another con is the limited nightlife. So if this is your thing, you won't get it in Laie. You'll have to drive up to Turtle Bay Resort and pay tourist prices, or drive to Haleiwa, which is about a 35-minute drive from Laie if there's no traffic, or you can drive an hour south to Kailoa. The community is more quiet and family focused. It is a dry town, meaning you can't buy alcohol, but you can certainly buy wine or liquor in the towns nearby. Now, as for price points in Laie, homes in this area range from $750,000 up to $5 million, and the average price point is about $1.785 million. But the most expensive micro neighborhood in this spot is Malikana, and that ranges from $3.5 million to $9.5 million. The next neighborhood on our list is another combination of neighborhoods, and we're talking about Kahuku, Kawailoa Bay, and Kuilima, otherwise known as Turtle Bay. Kahuku is home to more local residents, while Kawailoa Bay and Kuilima are more touristy. This area includes Turtle Bay Resort, the only major resort on the North Shore. It was just purchased by Marriott and is now called the Ritz-Carlton Oahu Turtle Bay. So let's get into the pros. Biggest pro of all is Turtle Bay's amenities. So living near Turtle Bay means easy access to resort amenities, including their golf courses, fine restaurants, and beautiful beaches. Let's talk about one of the pros, and that's diverse housing opportunities. So in Kahuku, there are townhomes and condos available to upscale beachfront properties in Kawailoa Bay, and many investment opportunities for legal short-term rental vacation properties in these spots, since these are resort-zoned areas. Now, Kawailoa Bay in Turtle Bay is more private and secluded compared to the more crowded areas of the North Shore. So there are really only two cons in this area, and con number one is what we already discussed, the traffic, getting in and out of the North Shore. And the other con is being remote. Like other parts of the North Shore, living here means you're gonna be far from Honolulu, from town, and of course, if you're looking at a map of Oahu, this area is as far as away you can possibly be from town and the airport. Expect a minimum of an hour and 15 minutes with no traffic to get into town. So everything I've mentioned here in terms of access and distance is true for Kahuku, for Kawailoa Bay, and Kuilima. Distance to large stores, to schools, to healthcare, etc. As far as price ranges in this area, the homes, they can range anywhere from $575,000 upwards of $2.6 million and average about $916,000. Now in Kawailoa Bay, they range from $2.275 million to upwards of $5.3 million, averaging about $3.7 million. And in Kuilima, where you have the townhomes and condos, they range from $804,000 as high as $6 million, an average of $3.3 million. So Kuilima Estates has two townhome communities, and Turtle Bay has the Ocean Villas, which hover around $3.5 million mark to upwards of $6 million for 3 to 4 bedroom villas. Now, for more information on those, be sure to check out our video on the top most luxurious condos in Oahu. The next neighborhood, which is number 7 on our list, is Kawailoa. Kawailoa is located between Haleiwa and Waimea, and it has a lot of oceanfront properties and a relaxed rural vibe. It's a smaller neighborhood, but with some prime real estate options. And it is certainly one of the most expensive neighborhoods on the island. So let's get into the pros. Pro number 1 is definitely the oceanfront options. So Kawailoa offers oceanfront properties with incredible views, and it really makes it ideal for those who just love the beach. And it's part of the 7 Mile Miracle, which is known for our famous surfing spots. Another huge pro is privacy. Kawailoa is less crowded than other parts of the North Shore and tends to have a quieter lifestyle. Another con here is the limited amenities. So like many North Shore communities, right, amenities aren't limited, so you're gonna need to head into Halewa for most of your basics. Another big con is corrosion, and of course being directly on the coast means homes are exposed to the elements, like high winds, salt water, and occasional flooding. This is something you really should expect to budget for. Think structural reinforcements and replacements and repairs for anything that can rust, from kitchen appliances to the hardware in your lanai. Now, as far as price ranges in Kawailoa, these homes, they range in price anywhere from $1.5 million all the way up to about $15 million and are averaging about $3.4 million. Okay, now the last neighborhood on our list at number 8 is Waimea. Waimea, of course, is famous for Waimea Bay and its massive winter waves. It's a small, iconic area with the bay and beach with the Waimea Jump Rock. Now that jump rock is a 25-foot jump into the ocean, and during the summer especially, there's usually a long line of people waiting to jump. Now Waimea also includes the well-known Waimea Valley Nature Preserve, as well as the Bluffs at Waimea neighborhood, which is near Waimea Beach Park. Now let's talk about the pros of Waimea. Number 1 pro is of course the natural beauty. Living near Waimea Bay means you're close to the beach, you've got the bay there, and the valley with a steep mountain range on either side, and you've got the nature preserve across from the bay. Not to be confused with the Waimea Canyon on the Big Island, of course. Now let's get into the cons. So unfortunately there are crowds, right? And during the winter months, Waimea Bay draws a large crowd, which can make it feel less private and of course more touristy. Now let's talk about a big con here, and it is expensive real estate, right? Waimea's prime location means higher real estate prices, and with oceanfront homes especially, getting super pricey. Another con for a lot of people is the ocean safety concerns. So what I mean by that, with Waimea Bay's big waves come serious safety concerns, especially for families with young children. The ocean here can be really unpredictable, especially during the winter months. As far as price point here, there aren't a ton of homes on the market in Waimea, but there is one currently on the market for $5 million, so that gives you an idea. So in conclusion, each of these North Shore neighborhoods offers something unique, and from historic charm of Haleiwa to the rural tranquility of Pupukea and the family-friendly atmosphere of Laie. Of the neighborhoods we've covered in this video, let us know which ones appeal to you the most. Let us know in the comments. When choosing the perfect neighborhood, consider what's most important to you or your family, right? Is it proximity to shopping, to schools and the healthcare, or whether it's privacy and space, whether it's having easy beach access, or maybe it's being part of a tight-knit community. Keep in mind the potential challenges of the North Shore, like traffic, isolation, or high real estate costs, but realize that living on the North Shore means embracing a truly special lifestyle. If you're ready to take the next step in finding your dream home on the North Shore, feel free to reach out to us for more information. You can give us a call, schedule a Zoom chat, send us an email, or shoot us a text. Whether you plan to buy a home for your ohana now or later down the road, we always love it when people reach out to us. We're here to make your home buying process a smooth and enjoyable experience. If you found this video to be helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, tap the like button for us. That way you can be first to know when we publish a new video and keep you informed in the Hawaii real estate market. Mahalo for watching, and until next time, aloha.